Hey guys, Armani here with Grubbs Acura in Grapevine. We own one of the largest Acura stores in the country. Anyways, I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of some of the new Acura tech. For whatever reason, maybe your salesperson doesn't know about it, or maybe you can't find it in the manual, you might find some really cool tips here. So first things first, I wanted to start with the remote start. So not every vehicle has the remote start feature. If yours does have the 4 buttons with the engine hold up top, then you have remote start. And it's really simple to work. All you do is click the lock button and then you hold the top button for about 5-6 seconds. And what you'll see is there'll be a green LED letting you know that the car got the message. So this key actually has a range of up to a mile if you have a clear view in the parking lot. But also keep in mind, if you're getting a new Acura, you get the Acura Link subscription for free for 3 years. So if you want, you can actually remote start it with your phone, even if you're out of the country, as long as you have an internet connection. But this is the key here, and you'll notice there's a little button at the bottom. If I put my finger in that button, the key actually comes apart and you have a little key here. So if the battery in the car is ever dead, you can use this to get in the driver's side door. Also on the key, it's really easy to take apart. See this little slot right there? If you stick the key in there, you can twist it. And the key comes apart right there. Battery size is a 2032, so pretty easy to replace. Thing I love about Acura is just great engineering. Putting the key back in, you'll also see on the back of the key will be either number 1 or number 2. Number 1 puts your settings for the and 2 for setting number 2. So the next thing to go over is programming your seat. What you do, simply just move the seat where you'd like it to be, and then you go to the button on the driver's side door, tap set, and while it's blinking, you can hit button number 1. But remember, if you got key number 1, it works there. But if you're using key number 2 and you set it, it may set it back to number 1. So just be mindful of that. So the next thing to go over is this control panel right here. First button, pretty simple. It's your heads up brightness. The next 2-3 buttons here, this one is your parking. Turns on and off the parking sensors. When it's green, your parking sensors are activated. The next one here is your traction control. You simply just push and hold it, and you can turn off your vehicle stability assist. The third one with the ring on it, if you tap it, it brings up a display on the screen. Now, myself personally, I hate road departure mitigation, so I turn that off. What road departure mitigation is if your car is driving and you hover near a line, the steering wheel will actually shake. And I don't like that, so I turn it off. But it is a great safety feature. The second one on here is your blind spot. And then the third one here is your collision mitigation braking system. So this would be basically low speed and high speed braking mitigation. Basically, the radar in the front of the car will help slow you down if it senses a collision is imminent. So moving back to the control panel here, you have your parking brake here. Simply push down when the button is red. That means your parking brake is activated. Tap on the brake pedal and pull up to release. Also down here, you have your trunk release. You have your mirror functions there, and you have your door and mirror functions here as well. Now check this out. If I put this switch on the left-hand side and I put the car in reverse, watch what this mirror does. It tilts down so that I can see the lane markings when I'm backing up. Now, if I put this on the right, watch the right mirror. And if I put it in the middle, both mirrors stay level. So just keep that in mind. I get a lot of complaints. People just don't understand how it works. But so moving on from there, we're going to go ahead and show you the lights. So you have auto headlights, and then if you have a second ring here, that is for your fog lights. And I always keep my fog lights on. You also do have the paddle shifters on the left and right hand of the steering. When you're using them, if the car is in drive, see where it says drive? And you use it, it'll go back to drive after a few seconds. However, if I put it in sport, now when I use the paddles, it locks you in the gear like you have a manual transmission. If you want to go back to drive, you can either pull the right paddle for 3 seconds, or you can put it back in drive. The next feature here is your radio and audio controls. This power button is for your radio. You got your volume button here. You also have 3 buttons at the bottom. The one on the left, if your phone is connected with Apple CarPlay, if you push and hold, Siri will come up and you can ask it directions or questions or text messages or anything you want. You also have a dedicated back button, and the menu button. If I hit this, you'll see all your music comes up here. So I can use this thumb wheel to go up and down and go to XM radio. And then you can access your favorites simply by clicking it in, going left or right, or up or down. Now, with that being said, I wish they put an icon here. If you get a phone call, I think it's right to answer and left to hang up. It's one of those, but you'll see it on the left-hand side of the display if you get a phone call. Now, moving on to the right-hand side, it's a little more complicated, but we'll keep it simple. So the first one is your cruise main. This one always has to be on before you can set cruise. If it's off, the car will be black. If it's on, the car will go on. You also have these buttons here. So this one is your steering assist. When you push that button, you see the little steering icon appears. I'll show you that a little bit more when we start driving, but I just want to get you a little familiar with these buttons here. A cool little feature is it does have the adaptive cruise control. So if I push it, you'll see the adaptive cruise control icon, and that's telling you that the car is traffic aware. So if I push this button, I can set a following distance from the car in front of me. Now, if I push and hold this, you see it goes into regular cruise mode and then adaptive cruise. And then this will cancel your cruise. This is to set the speed. This resumes your last speed. And that once a speed has been set, you can go up by 1 mile an hour or hold it to go up by 5. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of clarity. Let's go ahead and do a quick drive so I can show you how it works. First things first, got the car in drive. I have my favorite button in the whole world, the brake hold. When I push it, you'll notice on the top right, it says brake hold. When I come to a stop, that box turns green, and the car is holding the brake for me. When I want to go, just touch the gas pedal, and the brake hold goes away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the steering assist. See how the lane markings turned green? So now we can go hands-free. No hands. And let's see it go around this curve. Again, no hands. Beautiful. So I really love the steering assist. I find it's fantastic for long road trips. I just did a 600-mile road trip from the beach, and it was glorious to have. That with the cruise control, the brake hold, and the blind spot are all designed to make your life a whole lot easier. So I got a car coming up on my blind spot, and as soon as he comes close, that light lights up. If I turn the blinker on, so only if you turn the blinker will you hear the alarm. Otherwise, you'll just see a flashing light. So, just cruising now. I've got my speed set at 55. Car's in autopilot. Everything's green. Just keep in mind, every 15 seconds, it may remind you to just give a little bit of torque to the steering. You got to touch the steering wheel about once every 30 seconds so that the autopilot can stay engaged. And oh, this thing is so good around corners. So next, I wanted to take just a minute to talk a little bit about the climate control. So you have dual climate control. I can set two separate temperatures with these here. You have an auto fan speed, you have your power on off, and you got your different modes. AC on, fan speed up, interior recirculation, front defroster, and this one also does the mirrors and the rear. Love the air conditioned seats. I love intelligent climate control. If it's colder than 42, automatically turns on the heated seats. And I also love how the seats in here are not ventilated. They are air conditioned. So super cold. And it feels wonderful. Over here we have our dynamic mode. You can either twist it, or you can tap, or you can push and hold. Now, when you twist it, up here, you'll see you can change between comfort, normal, and sport. If you push and hold it, it'll bring up a special menu where you can individually change the engine's performance, the steering, and the suspension. So once you have it set up, all you have to do is just tap the button. But I love having it set up so that I have comfort steering, comfort suspension, but normal power. That is where this car just feels the best day in and day out. When you want to have more performance, you click it over to the sport mode, and you'll notice the steering gets a little bit heavier. The acceleration is a lot more vicious and a lot stronger. And the suspension stiffens up so you can really feel the corners a lot better while you're driving. So last thing over here is the touchpad. I really love the layout. I feel like I'm master of the universe. Everything right at the touch of my hands. You have your volume knob. You also have a power button. And I love how this works. So when I turn this on, you'll notice it goes channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. So this one you can channel surf with. And if you use the menu here, you can go to your favorites. So you got your favorites here on the thumbstick. and then over here you have channels surfing. But this is real simple layout. You have your back button, your home button, and then up top simply just gives you a list on the right. You have two pads here. The one on the right goes between your music, the time, and the map. So it's kind of nice to have the map always in the background. The big pad over here operates everything on the big touchscreen. And the way that this touchpad works is if I want to hit the icon in the top left of the corner, I put my finger in the top left here. And you got to click down hard. And if I want to hit the button on the bottom right, I put my finger in the bottom right. If I want to go to set home address on the bottom left, put my finger bottom left. Keyboard is up at the top right, so finger top right. And then when I'm on this screen, you can really feel where you should have your finger. It takes a couple minutes of practice, but once you get used to how it works, it is a fantastic system. I also love having the voice activation, which just makes my life so much easier. If you have your phone connected with the CarPlay, don't forget, give this button a push and hold, and you can access Siri or Alexa or Google Assistant, and it really is quite wonderful. I also love with the sunshades, of course you got the light, but these are also telescoping. So when the sun gets in your eyes, that's all out there. But love this up here. You got your speaker built up there. And then just to show you, you do have your garage door openers here. To set this, it's real simple. You push and hold any one of these three buttons and the clicker at the same time. And you got to hold it for quite a while, at least 15 to 30 seconds. If you mess up and you want to reset, you simply hold button number 1 and 3 and you wait for about 30 seconds and that'll reset that for you. There we go. So, other thing I wanted to show you, I love the ambient lighting. So you can actually choose your own theme. So I think we're going to go ahead and do, let's do a Bourbon Street. So now when the lights turn on, you got cool colored LEDs. Anyways, guys, I hope that gets you kind of started. Car's really not too complicated, but I know it's a lot of tech taking in your first time. You got the video, you can watch it as many times as you want. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to go a lot more in depth. Let me leave you with one last thing I forgot to show you. On the right hand of the steering wheel, if I roll this up or down, I have a number of different menus. So navigation, oil life, you typically want to bring it in before 15%. Got your tire pressures there. That's your torque vectoring for your all-wheel drive system, and we even have a G meter. Driver attention levels, seat belts, and then your safety support. Safety support, same button as down there. And then you can actually change your layout. Let's go crafted. Yeah, I like that. And then fuel economy, click and hold to reset. Move this to the right or the left, and you can change that. Good luck.